I'm just going to do the next one because it's quite short, so let's open the flaps. It's part 7. Boop, 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 boop. Get my flaps out properly. 2 in one night, look at that. They have hung that marvellous face, branded with numerological shame in the criminal's gallery. He is straitjacketed to the bed. Is it a hospital or a jail? I can't tell. I'm shut out. I run down the rubber corridors, but the seats in the theatre were empty. No, I'm confused. He said no visitors were allowed, not even on Friday. Then I went with magazines and fruit, and the nurse said, "Go along in, his wife is there." So I turned back to the corridor. Every door was locked. No, some were glass, but double, and it was snowing outside. "My love, my dearest love, where are you?" "Under the greenwood tree, yes. Also our bed is green, and it smells like his nose, like apples." The stairs were spiral. I went down for miles, but carpeted. Oh, yes, but people were watching meanly and commented on my shabby clothes. The whirlwind was just above, the fearful claws, not wind, no, but small bits of newspaper whirling dangerously near. I'm afraid. Suppose it caught me up. It was about this time that I found out the letter folded. "My dearest love, it is all you. I want to go on as I never before." I put it back, yes, and he took it away from the marble fireplace and threw it away. I saw him. The tree outside the window was weighted with snow. This proves it, doesn't it? At 10 minutes to midnight, he said, "Go out and get me a thermos bottle." And I heard the new year come in as I waited by the drugstore counter. The snow melted, and the streets were slushy with blood. I meant to tell you about the child. It was always like that. The room was ankle deep in blood. Yes, I know. I heard her wail, "Why didn't you let me keep the child?" "Oh, why didn't you let me keep the child? It was a little girl, dark with long fingers. She was pretty, wasn't she? Not at all like most little babies." The man at the beer parlour said, "You've bought nothing for an hour. I'm afraid I've got to ask you to leave." The clothes were steamed on the coils, still wet. It's December, and the woods are rather wet for a rendezvous. If you sit on the stones, you get piles. Why do so many telegrams arrive? Shall we see each other? Yes, it's only Hermione. You'd hate me if I acted otherwise, wouldn't you? When he came out to the jail, his eyes were dead, and he said, "I've lost my innocence," staring at the ceiling and chewing the frightful drug. When he came out to the hospital, he had a bandage around his throat. They tried to tie him down, he rallied. The anaesthetist was an artist. He had armpits like chalices. Just as the top hat gave him an erection, he'd have no trouble getting into the army. "I've done this twice before today," he said, as we lay in the orchard, once with her, once with you, and once with the jawbone of an ass. 1, 2, 3. "My love, I think I see a little blood on your clothes." "Yes, that's from the belly of the whale." Women are so possessive. As the apple tree among the tree of the woods, so is my beloved. Every furrow in the orchard is ploughed, except at the trunk of the tree where the grass grows. There it stands up like the golden fleece. Forgive me, for, of course, I'm servant too. Could you tell me out the way if you please, doctor or inspector? I can't quite see who you are in this light. No one hears me. It's the silent rubber floor. I've been hours and hours knocking on the various doors. But you're a communist, no. A fascist, no. A cad. In your case, then, I think the only thing is for you to go to the edge of a cliff and say, "Here goes nothing," and jump. That would be $88 and $2 more for the medicine. My love, why did you leave me on Lexington Avenue in the Ford that had no brakes? It stalled in the traffic and broke down outside her window. She was writing a letter, "I love you very much. Careful now," in capitals. That was a different letter, yes, but I get confused. One day, she saw a golden oriole in the orchard. "One day," she said, "then have your orgy with Blondie. Work out your passion on her." I see it all. The poop of burnished gold. If I got angry and made a scene, but no, I believe you, of course. I believe you. But you didn't say I was the one. Yes, you said, "Take care of this girl, for she is what makes my blood circulate and all the stars revolve and all the seasons return." This is my dream. This is why I had circles under my eyes this morning at breakfast. Everyone noticed it. I think one of them sniggered. "You don't take much interest in politics, do you? You never read the newspaper?" I drank my coffee, but I had sight of feeling of nausea. It's to be expected. I don't mind her at all. It's nothing. "My love, are you feeling better?" He can't talk. He can only mutter. "Oh dear, oh my dear, drink a little milk, lie down and rest a little. I will comfort you. I can carry love like St. Christopher. It's heavy, but I can carry it. It's the stones of suspicion I stumble on." Did I say suspicion? No, it's nothing. I love you. A slight feeling of nausea, that's all. After a while, I got out into the open air. At his face was the moon hanging in the snowy branches. Oh, well, that's a bit different. The part 6, like, oh, I lost my page. Lost my page. This is dire. There we go. If the whole novel was like that, I wouldn't have an issue. Because that's brilliant. I think that's where poetic prose is like at its best, where you can kind of, you're in the situation, it's still a little bit confused of what's going on or why certain things are happening, but it's all unfolding and done in a way that makes a connection. Whereas there's the previous chapter, I didn't know what was going on. I don't know if I read it wrong, but she lost a child that was his while he was in prison. But if it does feel as though her attention is still all on him, not the loss that she's had that was theirs, which is interesting. And I wonder if we're going to, over the next 3 chapters, are we going to look into that in a bit more detail? That was a very different juxtaposition, wasn't it? Because the last one was horrendous.